Hello everyone and welcome, Nerdstorm here, and in this video I'm going to go over the post ZeniMax just released about the new test they are going to be running in Cyrodiil starting next week. So in case you guys missed it, at the end of last year, ZeniMax ran a series of tests in Cyrodiil trying to improve the overall performance, or at least test different means to do so in Cyrodiil. And they have found that all of the tests they've ran that were mainly concerning AoE abilities and group play mechanics, they didn't really improve the performance the way ZeniMax expected them to. And earlier this year, ZeniMax announced that they are going to be running at least one more test in the near future, potentially more, to try and improve the performance in different ways in Cyrodiil. And as we have found just now, a few minutes ago when they released the new post, the first test they are going to be running, as they hinted towards previously, is going to be regarding sets and not abilities. Basically, ZeniMax are saying there's going to be a specific list of sets, a very short list of sets that are going to be allowed to be used in Cyrodiil properly, whereas every single set in the game that contains a proc or a line of calculation, and he said that alters an ability or is changed based on ability, is not going to be usable in Cyrodiil for a limited amount of time while the test is running. So this test is going to be starting on February 15th, the way it's looking, and it's going to be lasting for at least 3 weeks, potentially more based on the way ZeniMax decide for it to run and based on the performance changes they are seeing. And there could potentially be further tests running later on that we currently don't know about. It will all depend on how this change impacts the performance in Cyrodiil. So there is going to be a very specific list of sets that will be allowed to use in Cyrodiil properly. And this list will be presented on the screen right now, and I'm going to be reading it out loud as well for the ones of you who are listening. So we've got Aberplasm, Armor of the Trainee, Beekeeper's Gear, Crafty Alfiq, Drugger Hulk, Endurance, Fortified Brass, Grace of the Ancients, Hunding's Rage, Impregnable Armor, Law of Julianos, Leviathan, Mother's Sorrow, Plague Doctor, Shacklebreaker, Spinners, Spriggans, Willpower, and Agility. Those are going to be the sets that will be usable in Cyrodiil fully throughout this test. And keep in mind that as it appears that they didn't exactly give us information about it, but it seems that you'll also be able to use other sets, just not the final piece. So any piece of the set that requires further calculation will not be active, but if you are using 2 pieces of a 5-piece set that say gain max magicka or increase your weapon and physical damage or anything along these lines, those should still be working properly. What this means is that the vast majority of builds that are currently going on in Cyrodiil in the existing meta are not going to be usable. And in my opinion, this will have a gigantic impact on the meta. This will mean that the existing meta of heavy armor builds with Crimson and a bunch of defensive sets with a little bit of proc sets to deal damage with Malakath and Vatishran, Destro, etc. Those builds are not going to be usable whatsoever. From now on, we'll go back to a meta almost from before Monster Helms even existed, where you have to increase your max stats, your max pools, your spell and weapon damage to get as much damage as you can and actually kill enemy players, while trying to use your skills to deal the damage and to heal yourself rather than rely on sets to do so. And we are expecting to see a significant performance improvement while that happens, so there will be no further reason to want to rely on procs to do the work for you, whether it is healing or dealing damage. The meta is going to completely change. In my opinion, we're going to be seeing a lot less heavy armor builds and a lot more light and medium ones, and we're going to be seeing a lot more builds that are aiming towards stacking your stat as much as possible, as this will be the only viable alternative at this point. To repeat the general information here, this test will be starting on February 15th this month, in about a week from now, and will be lasting for at least 3 weeks, potentially more. As we get more information, I will let you guys know about it. I've also confirmed it with ZeniMax, and at least according to what they're saying now, there will not be any indication on sets in the game, whether they are usable in Cyrodiil or not. So you'll have to compare your setups and your builds to this list to know if your sets are viable or not, and if they're going to be working or not, because there will be no indication in Cyrodiil to tell about any other set that these sets are going to be usable or not usable in Cyrodiil. There will not be any big red text saying unusable in PvP. It's only going to be based on this list alone outside of the game. So make sure you have this list memorized and make builds, at least for these 3 weeks, that are completely according to this list and this list only. That's about it, guys. What are you feeling about this test? Do you think this test will have a significant impact on performance? Do you think it will make the meta better or worse? How do you think people are going to be handling it? Maybe hybrids are going to be able to make a comeback? Maybe finally we'll be seeing some light and medium builds beating the crap out of heavy armor builds? What are you all thinking about this test? Let me know down in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you learned something and got some information out of this video, and I will be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.